What if you lost everything? Your job, your home, your money, but you still had one thing to fight for: your son. This is the true story of Chris Gardner. It's 1981, San Francisco. Chris is a salesman trying to sell expensive portable bone density scanners to doctors. Problem? No one wants them. They're too expensive.
Don't need it, Chris. It's unnecessary and expensive.
Chris is drowning in debt. His wife Linda works double shifts, and they can barely pay rent. But the worst part, they have a 5-year-old son, Christopher Jr. And Chris refuses to let his son see him fail. One day, Chris goes to sell his portable bone density scanners, and on his way he drops his son to the daycare. This is where all his real suffering begins. Immediately he goes to the hospital to sell his scanner. His car gets clamped and towed by the city council due to his unpaid tickets. Chris has to sell at least 2 bone density scanners to be able to pay for rent and his son's daycare. Now he has to sell 1 more to pay for all the tickets on his car. Everyone looks happy around Chris except for him. Things are really getting tougher for Chris in both his hustle and at his home. Small quarrels break out between him and his wife, and it keeps on getting worse.
I got 2 questions for you. What do you do and how do you do it?
I'm a stockbroker.
Stockbroker.
Chris gets the idea to become a stockbroker. More money, better life. Then it gets worse. Linda leaves. She can't take the poverty anymore. She moves out and leaves Christopher Jr. with Chris. Now Chris is a single dad with no money. Just a few days later, Chris is given 1 week to paint and leave the house since he was unable to pay the due rent. Things kept getting worse, so Chris applies for a job at Dean Witter firm. He gets called for an interview. Just the night before his interview, Chris gets arrested while he was painting his house, and now he has to spend the whole night in the police cell due to his unpaid car tickets.
Yeah, you gotta stay until this thing clears.
No, I can't spend the night here. I have to pick up my son.
We verify at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Sir, I have a job interview at Dean Witter at 10:15 tomorrow morning. I cannot stay
9:30
here.
Morning reaches, Chris gets released, and now he has 30 minutes to reach for the interview. Chris doesn't have enough money to take him home to bathe and change his clothes, so now the only option is to go like that for the interview. Chris runs until he reaches. He does the interview, and he passes, but to his shock, he has to undergo a 6 months internship with no salary. Chris lands the unpaid internship at Dean Witter, which is for 6 months with no salary. To make it worse, out of the 20 people in the internship, only 1 person qualifies for the job. So now Chris has to do all his level best in order to get the job. But there's a catch. He still has to sell scanners to pay bills, and dropping and picking his son at the daycare. So now Chris has to balance all those 3 within 12 hours of the daytime. In order to manage his time well, Chris Gardner has to reduce his working hours at the internship. So he does that by not having any breaks, and not eating or drinking even water so as to save time by not going to the restroom every time. A week gets done, and he moves to a cheaper apartment. As time goes by, Chris manages his daily routines, and he sells almost all the bone density scanners he had and puts all the money in his bank account. Later, the worst thing happens. Due to Chris' unpaid taxes, the tax authority deducts all the money he had put on his bank account, leaving him with only $21.33 out of the $600 he had. The following night, Chris and his son are kicked out of their apartment. This is where it gets real. Chris and Christopher have nowhere to go, so they sleep in subway bathrooms. Chris holds the door shut with his foot while his son sleeps inside a sleeping bag. The following day, Chris and his son decide to go and reside in the church homeless shelters, but the problem with the church homeless home is that they have limited spaces for homeless people, so the shelter only takes the first certain number of people. So now Chris has to do his level best to reach there early, or else they will have to sleep in the streets. Chris still shows up to the internship every day in a suit, smiling, while hiding the fact that he's homeless.
Where you going?
Sacramento, guys. I'm trying to move a couple guys that at Pac Bell, and I'm trying to bring them over.
He practices stock calls at night. He studies. He begs doctors to see him for 30 seconds to pitch a scanner. He continues with that hectic routine as the months pass by, but he refuses to give up or watch his son see him fail. Things keep getting worse for Chris until it reaches a moment where he has to sell his blood in order to afford some food, transport, and shelter, since sometimes they miss out shelter at the church homeless shelters late. More months pass, and it's the last day of the internship. 20 people started. Only one job. Chris thinks he blew it because he showed up late once due to a parking ticket in jail. He sits in the office waiting. Then his boss says, "Mr. Gardner, we'd like to offer you a paid position." Chris breaks down. After months of sleeping in bathrooms, after selling scanners, after fighting, he made it. He's going to be a stockbroker. Fast forward. Chris is now successful. He walks down the street with his son. A stranger walks by. That stranger? The real Chris Gardner. The one this story was written about, and mind you, this is based on true story. This is a story about a father who refused to give up, who slept in shelters but never let his son sleep without hope. The pursuit of happiness isn't given to you. You have to run after it. If you're going through something right now, remember Chris. Keep going. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe not to miss out on upcoming movie narrations and recap.